Hello everyone, welcome Lead School at Home. We have started sixth chapter in geography of unit 4, that is manufacturing industries. In that we have studied introduction of the chapter, then importance of manufacturing, contribution of industry to national economy, then industrial location. These points we have studied in previous video. Now we move towards the next point in this chapter, that is classification of industries. Please student, put your textbook in front of you while watching this video and be ready with your pen, pencil and notebook. List the various manufactured products you use in your daily life, such as transistors, electric bulbs, vegetable oil, cement, glassware, petrol, matches, then scooters, automobiles, medicines, and so on. In your day-to-day life, we are using different products. Those are mentioned here, like transistors, electric bulbs, vegetable oil, cement, glassware, petrol, matches, then scooters, automobiles, medicine, and other things also. If we classify the various industries based on a particular criterion, then we would be able to understand their manufacturing better. Means if we divide these various industries which are based on a particular criteria, then we would be able to understand their manufacturing better. Industries may be classified as follows, and different industries are classified as follows. Now we will study different industries as per their classification. Now we will move towards the first. On the basis of a source of raw material used, means industry are based on source of raw materials. First one, agro-based. Agro-based industries are cotton, woolen, jute, silk, textile, rubber and sugar, tea, coffee, edible oil. These are the industries based on agro product. Now we will move towards the next. Second one is mineral based. Iron and steel, cement, aluminum, machine tools, then petrochemicals. These are the industries based on minerals. Means there are two types which are based on source of raw materials. Now next, second type is according to their main rule. Industries are divided into according to their main rule. First one, basic or key industries are those which supply their products as raw material to manufacturer, tools, goods. Now in this category, industries are those which supply their products as a raw material to manufacturer, and then we will get the finished good. Examples are iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminum smelting. These are the industries. Now we will move towards the next is consumer industries that produce goods for direct use by consumers. Consumers means customer. Now those industries means some industries are produce goods for direct use by their customer. For example, sugar, toothpaste, paper, sewing machine, fans. These products we use after they manufactured. Now we will move towards the next type of industry, that is third one, on the basis of capital investment. First one, a small scale industry is defined with a reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. Some small scale industries is defined reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. This limit has changed over a period of time, and this limit of investment may be changed in future. It may be become increase or maybe become decrease. At present, the maximum investment allowed is rupee 1 crore. Now, next one is on the basis of ownership. This is the fourth one. In that first, public sector owned and operated by government agencies like BHEL, SAIL, etc. Some industries are public and operated by government agencies. For example, BHEL. BHEL is a short form of Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, and SAIL means Steel Authority of India Limited. These are the industries we call it as public sector because those industries operated by government agencies. Now we will move towards the second type, that is a private sector industries owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals. Some industries are private sector. It's maybe owned and operated by individuals or a group of individuals. For example, TISCO means the short form here TISCO, and its full form is Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited. Then Bajaj Auto Limited. Then Dabur Industries. Now we will move towards the third in the joint sector industries which are jointly run, means joint sector industries which run jointly, means more than one owner are there to the industries by the state, and individuals are a group of individuals, and they may be jointly run by the state, and individuals are a group of individuals. Oil India Limited means example has given of a joint venture, that is Oil India Limited, that is OIL, is jointly owned by public and private sector. I will give another one example. Before some year we see the motorbike of Hero Honda, that is also joint venture, but after some days that joint venture separated into two companies. First one is Hero and second one is Honda. But now present these are not joint ventures. Cooperative sector industries are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. Cooperative sector industries are owned and operated by the producers or maybe suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. They pull in the resources and share the profits or losses proportionately, and they pull the resources and share also the profit and losses. Such examples are the sugar industry in Maharashtra, the coa industry in Kerala. In Maharashtra, we will see the cooperative sugar industries in Maharashtra. Now, based on the bulk and weight of raw material and finished goods. This is the last, that is fifth type, is based on the bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods. In that first one, heavy industries such as iron and steel. Second one is light industries that use light raw materials and produce light goods such as an electrical goods industries. Heavy industries, we will see the iron steel product. These are the heavy industries. Then we will see light industries. we are means we are see the light product in our homes. Just example has given here, electric bulbs, that is a light industry. Activity, we will just read the activity for your comprehension, but you can do this activity as a homework. Classify the following into two groups on the basis of a bulk and weight of a raw material and finished goods. Means just we have to classify these different elements into bulk and weight of raw material and finished goods. Now we will see the next. Now in the next, here has given the detailed explanation of whatever classification we have seen, that is 5 on the basis of different things. First we have seen that is agro based industries. Here some industries are based on agro materials. These are cotton industry is based on cotton, then jute, silk, woolen textiles, sugar and edible oil, etc. Industries are based on agriculture raw materials. Now next in textile industries. The textile industries occupies unique position in the India economy, because here please student that different types of industries, and this question will be asked in your board examination, because most of times this question has asked, and the question will come in this way. The textile industry occupies a unique position in the Indian economy. Tell the reason. And reason is there because it contributes significantly to industrial production, that is 14%, employment generation 35 million responses directly, the second largest after agriculture, and foreign exchange earning, that is about 24.6%. It contributes 4% towards GDP. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain, that is from raw material to the highest value added products. Means we have seen that why textile industry in the India has an unique position, because contribution of industrial production in the textile, that is 14%, then it gives employment to the people near about 35 million people direct, the second largest after agriculture. Means textile industry is the second largest industry in India. Now it also earn foreign exchange, it's about 24.6%, and its contribution is to GDP, means gross domestic product, is 4%. It is the only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value. This is the only industry in India which is self-reliant and compete in the value chain. Means we will get raw material from our country, then also we get finished goods from the country. Mean we will get raw material and finished good from our country, that's we call self-reliant and compete the value chain from the raw material to the highest value added products. Now we will move towards on next page. On this page, see here value addition in the textile industry chain has given. Fiber production, we need raw material, that is raw fiber, then spinning raw material yarn, then weaving and knitting fabric, then dyeing and finishing garments done in a garment manufacturer, And garment manufacturer also can do dyeing and finishing the garment. In this way, the chain is there. Please you go through the chain, draw this chain in your notebook. Now we will move towards the next, that is cotton textiles. Now we will study about cotton textiles in India. In ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving techniques. Means in ancient India, cotton textiles were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving technique. After the 18th century, power looms came into use, and after the 18th century, means after the industrialization, power looms came into use. Our traditional national industrialists suffered a setback during the colonial period because they could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. Our traditional industries suffered a setback during the colonial period because they could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. Means that time in England, globalization has happened, different innovation happened, lot of new machineries arose on that time. But in India, those development has not happened, and because they could not compete with the mill-made cloth from England. Now here some information has given. The first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in the year 1854. The two world wars were fought in Europe. India was a British colony. There was a demand for clothes in UK, hence they gave a boost to the development of the cotton textile industry. Means first textile mills has established in Mumbai in the year 1854. Then there were two world wars fought in Europe, and that time British colonies were there in India. There was a demand for clothes in UK, means United Kingdom. Hence, they gave a boost to the development of the cotton textile industry. As on 30 November 2011, there were 1946 cotton and human-made fiber textiles mill in the country. And in the year 2011, there were 1946 cotton and human-made fiber textile mills in the country. About 80% of these are in the private sector and the rest in the public and cooperative sectors. And near about 80% industries are in private sector, rest in the public sector, and remaining in the cooperative sector. Apart from these, there are several thousand small factories with 4 to 10 looms. And apart from these, there are several thousands small factories with 4 to 10 looms. In the early years, the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. In early years, cotton textiles was concentrated in the cotton growing belt like Maharashtra and Gujarat. This question is also important. Why textile industries was concentrated in the growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat? Tell the reason. Here the reason is there. Availability of raw cotton, then market, transport including accessible port facilities. Because in Maharashtra and Gujarat, availability of raw cotton, then market, then transport facility, accessible ports facility are there. That's why they are concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Again, see here, labor, moist climate, etc. and also plenty of labor available in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and moist climate is there. Contributed towards its localization, this industry has a close link with agriculture and provides a living to farmers, cotton ball pluckers and workers engaged in gaining, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, packaging, tailoring, and sewing. And also reason is the this industry has a close link with agriculture and provide a living to farmers, means cotton ball pickers and workers engaged in different kinds of work. The industry, by creating demands, supports many other industries such as chemicals and dyes, packaging material and engineering works. And the industry, by creating demand, support many other industries such as chemical and dyeing, packaging material and engineering works. While spinning continue to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, weaving is highly decentralized to provide scope for cooperating industrial skills and designs of weaving in cotton. Spinning continue to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Then weaving is highly decentralized to provide scope for incorporating traditional skill and design of weaving in cotton, silk, zari, embroidery, etc. India has a world-class production in spinning, but weaving supplies low quality of fabric as it cannot use much of the high quality yarn produced in the country. Now this question will become, why India has world-class production in spinning but not in weaving? And the answer is because low quality of fabric as it cannot use much of the high quality yarn produced in the country. Weaving is done by handloom, power loom and in mills. That's why. The hand spun khadi provide large scale employment to weavers in their homes such as cottage industry. The hand spun khadi provides large scale employment to weavers in their homes as a cottage industry. Now please student, again one question is there. Write the answer of this question. Why did Mahatma Gandhi lay emphasis on spinning yarn and weaving khadi? Please write the answer. And these are two questions, means previous activity and this answer of the question. After writing, please send to on our WhatsApp group. Now here one chart is there, that is table 6.1. India production, means in India production of fabric in India. Now here mill sector, how many production happened in fiber, that is 3.3, and in 2010-11 that is 3.5. Power looms in moisture it is 84.1, and in 2010-11 84.1 is same. Handlooms 11.3, 11.1, some decrease is happened. Others 1.3, here same 1.3, that is total 100%. And this table has taken from the source Office of Textile Commissioner, Mumbai, Economic Survey 2011-12, means this table is on the basis of Economic Survey of 2011-12. Note, one note is there, 90% of the weaving, cutting and processing is in decentralized sector. Now again study the figures above and note the share of mills in the production of fabric. Just we have seen. Please student, take a note that. Now we will move towards now on chart. Next part we will see in our next video.